We're out here at Turtle Bay, out of the Sundial Bridge, and I've got an article here by the title of The Crime of Genocide. Now, looking at the article, I didn't really know what the heck genocide was at first, but then reading the article, it got really in depth about it. So, to start off, it's written by Elaine Taxi, something like that. I don't really know how to pronounce it, but yeah, this sun is so bright right now. Alright, so starting off, it just gets a basic, like, how genocide was found out, sort of. It says here, Winston Churchill stated that the world was being brought to face with a crime with no name. Like, it brought to attention, like, no one's heard of this before, no one's done it before, it's a first time thing, and just like thinking about it, it's like, well, I mean, if it's so bad, we should have a name for it at least. So this article goes on to cover things like that, and then the next couple paragraphs talk about how Raphael Lemkin said the expression mass murder, that was one of the definitions that was brought up. I don't think that really described it well, because there's been mass murderings that haven't been genocide. Alright, so there was a definition laid down in the Convention for the Prevention and Punishment of Genocide. And the definitions that were laid down was, there were about 6 of them, 5 or 6. It was killing members of the group, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or part, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group, so then the group wouldn't like reproduce, I'm guessing, and there'd be no more of that, kind of like animals do, you know, like endangered species, they don't reproduce and they can't go on. Now, with more thorough detail and research into this crime and what went down, the final definition, as of today in history, it is there's four factors involved with it. It is a criminal act with the intention of destroying an ethnic, national, or religious group, and like basically targeting them, singling them out, you know. With the definition, it shocked me. So like, it just brought into the account of how actually serious it was, and targeting people is a crime without punishment right now. I mean, alright, so yeah, these definitions like shocked me. I didn't know how to take it into account, because it was just like so extreme, and it was insane. Like, just it wasn't right for anyone to do. I mean, obviously, I think my views on it, they should be severely punished with it. But now, in the later paragraphs in this article, it goes on to say the definition and usage of the term genocide was misused a ton. It says, the term genocide has progressively lost initial meaning in becoming dangerously commonplace. Now, I mean, it's such a great crime and so extreme that basically, like, it shouldn't be misused. People need to understand, like, the definition of it, and I felt like, just like kind of stunned at it. I was like, well, I mean, if you know what the definition is, you shouldn't be misusing the word. I don't know. That's my view on that. I mean, I think people should really look up like the definition of it before you actually use a word. So the usage of the word got so misused. People basically, they forgot about the real consequences and real events that happened, and like, because even in Night in the book, it says never forget, and that's a big statement in there. He uses that a lot, to never forget what happened, because he went through it himself and he came out, which is really freaking cool. So that, and it says the definitions of the convention in Lemkin place it heavily on bigger, larger events that targeted people out. It wasn't like a disease that just happens to be there, bad luck. It was on purpose, and people did it for real reason, and I think it's terrible. This article brought like it opened a new door for the readers of it.